Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm for Classic and welcome to BenchART. So for today what I do have in here is WRC 8 developed by Kitty Racing. Kitty Racing, it is a former Killotune, so they develop mainly racing games like the other WRC titles, and also Flatout 4, which was not developed by Bugbear like Wreckfest. So yeah, WRC 8 it is considerably much more demanding than WRC 7, despite it uses the same engine. I'm not really sure why, but it seems that, I don't know, I think that Killotune or Kitty Racing are increasingly developing their maps and and graphics, and of course like every developer, but they are making huge improvements to their games to a point that it's becoming really demanding. The maps looks really good, and despite I do prefer the gameplay of Codemasters rally races, rally games, I can't shake the feeling that these guys are improving every year, and this is good to see at least. So the graphical settings, this is the first disappointment. I'm running the game between low and medium settings. The only differences that I made was to raise anisotropic filtering, and for this post-processing I just reduced the screen space ambient occlusion, enabled PAA, and reduced motion blur. You can also disable it if you want, but yeah, it's pretty much a mix between medium and high, and this was not for 60 frames per second. This is what is very disappointing. So this game asks for an FX 4350, 6 gigs of RAM, and an HD 5870. This is the minimum, and I really think these guys nailed it. I really think that this is the bare minimum for playing the game at low settings, probably 720p above 30 frames per second or 900p. I think this is the most correct requirements that I have seen lately. So let's check the results. So I've tested four presets and in 2 different tracks. I just joined the results in one single graphic. One track it was raining, and the other track it is the one that you are seeing in the background. So with the 900p low settings, this is where the performance is. You get an average of 62 with a 1% low of 56. This is probably the settings that I would play, but I understand that you guys don't want to play with bad graphics and low resolutions. But if you select like these balance settings, this mix between low and medium, what you get is an experience around 30 frames per second. While I believe that in some racing games, more arcade games, 30 frames per second it is enough. Despite I'm playing in here with 30 frames per second, the difference in gameplay between 30s and 60s in this game, it is huge. After trying the 900p with the low settings and having 60 frames per second, it's very hard to come back and play the game at 30 frames per second or between 30s and 40s. The difference in gameplay, it is huge. It feels like you are never in control while playing at 30 or 40 frames per second, and while playing at 60, even the game looks to be playing much better and more easier to control. So if you want to target those 60 frames per second that despite I'm playing with this low and medium at 30, I do recommend you to play at 60 frames per second with 900p low settings. If you don't care about the bad graphics, shadows popping in front of you, seeing the track getting rendered in front of you, if you don't mind those things, well, you can play pretty much at 60 frames per second most of the time. But if you need to have some sort of a balance between good graphics and performance, low medium settings it is the way to go with this graphic card. And despite this game uses a lot of CPU, I never saw my graphic card being bottlenecked by the Phenom II X4. So it means that if you have a better CPU and you have these graphic cards, you are going to get pretty much the same experience overall. Alright, you are not going to get much more frame rate just because you have a much better CPU or anything like it. According to Metacritic, most review websites and all those people are giving this game a score between 75 to 80, so it doesn't look that bad looking by that, but the users are not really satisfied with the game, giving scores between 5 to 6. So I don't really know what to think about, but if you play the WRC 7, you can expect an improved game comparing to the WRC 7, alright? So yeah, that's pretty much that. As for the game itself, you need to buy the game through Epic Store. It is not available on Steam, at least until September 2020. This is unfortunate, and the game costs $49.99, so it's a full release price. As a matter of opinion, if I prefer WRC over Dirt Rally, well, no. I understand one thing is that Gigabyte do a lot of maps and different countries, which is much more interesting than what Codemaster does. But Codemasters offers a superior gameplay and a much superior simulation, and I love to go back to Dirt Rally and enjoy it. Enjoy to play and repeat even the same tracks, because the gameplay is so interesting and challenging, and it makes entirely sense. Everything seems so perfect. Then playing WRC, despite it is a good game, I still feel that WRC is no match to what Codemasters has to offer. But like I said before, these guys have been improving a lot. So guys, that's all that I want to talk about WRC 8. Hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Chicane right, 30. Right 3 and square right at junction into square left over finish.